Good afternoon, and I profusely thank ASRT for giving me this opportunity to share our research accomplishments in tomato. This is a talk related to the development of triple disease resistance, especially we are breeding for early blight in combination with bacterial wilt and leaf curl virus. You know the productivity is too low in the Indian scenario compared to other advanced countries, including the world productivity. One of the reasons may be these the major biotic stresses, which include there are several like viruses, bacterial, fungal, insect, and insect pests, and also abiotic stresses. Today we are mainly focusing on begomoviruses, then bacterial wilt and early blight. In fact, the breeding program IHR dates back to as early as 1970s. The stalwarts like Dr. Tikku, Dr. Anand, Dr. Deshpande, who had laid a very strong foundation for the tomato breeding, and in fact collected a lot of germplasm with which we could advance and utilize in our whatever the accomplishment we have made. This is the contribution of all the three my seniors and who have done a lot of work to the institute. These were initially our breeding program was focusing on breeding for yield and quality. We had few open point varieties, processing varieties, and also hybrids. Arka Vikas is still ruling the country with a very sizable area under its cultivation. Then our focus went on to breed for major biotic stresses like bacterial wilt, TLC, and early blight. You all know the losses can go up to 70 to 100% depending on the stage at which the crop gets affected. We had two varieties, Arka Abba and Alok. They are the pure line selections from AVRDC. Thanks to AVRDC providing germplasm from which we have made a pure line selections, and we could release two varieties with resistance to bacterial wilt. They were doing the 1990s. Then later we developed hybrids. That was way back to 1996, again using 15SB developed by Dr. Tikku, and also some of the advanced breeding lines using the VC8-1-2-1. Still there is a demand for these two varieties in the northeastern region of India. Our focus went on to breed for tomato leaf curl virus resistance. Previous Dr. Shelly Praveen has already explained the existence of this monopart and bipart viruses, and we employ the very stringent screening protocol given by Professor V. Muniappa at the seedling stage. In fact, this is the one technique which can clearly screen and give a very distinct distance between the resistant and susceptible. The first program, thanks to Dr. Kallu for giving us H24, I used H24 as a base material to develop a combined resistance to bacterial wilt and TLCV using 15SB. We developed about 6 advanced breeding lines, and one of my students, Dr. Balram, made about 14 by 14 full dialyl using IHR bred breeding lines, and also the breeding lines received from Dr. Peter Hansen. One of the hybrids, we call it as TLBRH9, was found to be highly resistant to both diseases, TLC and bacterial wilt, fairly having a very good yield levels, and it was released in the year 2005 at the national level, and it was named as Arka Ananya. Then our search went on to look for resistant material which is resistant to tomato leaf curl New Delhi virus. Fortunately, we could identify resistance to New Delhi virus in LA1777, Solanum habrochites LA1777. That was our basic material where we have generated lot of breeding lines. This is the protocol, standard protocol where we use to screen the resistant and susceptible. Then we started employing this molecular markers, identified what are the markers in different resistant source. In fact, LA1777, we could identify it contains both the TY2 and TY3 with the collaboration of Dr. K.V. Ravishankar, and screening was done by Dr. Krishna Reddy. This is the markers we have used to screen our materials. Then early blight was our next target to incorporate into our combined resistant material. We had, in fact, TICO had identified 1816 that NCBR1 as a source of resistant early blight. We made crosses with AVIDC line, CLN2123. Then developed about 7 advanced breeding lines, probably the first triple resistant advanced breeding lines to be developed in India. We call it as TLBR through backcross pedigree method. And they are quite, had a very high level of resistance to all the 3 diseases. You can see the pictures in the field level. Apart from that, the yield potential is very high, plus the desirable fruit quality attributes like fruit firmness, fruit size, and the deep red color. Later, we made crosses with our triple resistant material was crossed with the AVIDC material lines. Basically, most of the advanced breeding lines supplied by Dr. Hansen were resistant to both TLC and bacterial wilt. And we could develop several hybrids, of which 2 hybrids we named it as Arka Samrat and Arka Rakshak were found to be highly promising in terms of yield and also with triple resistance to TLCV, bacterial and early blight. You can see the yield potential even under our IHR conditions. The average yield crossed more than 10 kg per plant, average yield. Then second hybrid was the Arka Rakshak, which has given a excellent performance both at IHR and also in the farmers field. We have even tested in a bacterial sick plot. They had a very high level of tolerance to bacterial wilt. Then this is we also screened them at different seasons. So they had a very high level of tolerance to TLCV, bacterial wilt, and early blight. And this is the final conclusion. They are resistant to TLCV and bacterial wilt, and also moderately resistant to this early blight. So this is the yield. In fact, we also tested them along with the commercial hybrids. I just given commercial 1 and commercial 2. They have surpassed the yield potential of most of the commercial hybrids what we have used in our experiment, more than about 50%. Then we also evaluated the fruit attributes. The quality attributes are excellent, which can be comparable to any of the commercial hybrids available in the market. Then we also tested for the shelf life. One of the hybrids can be kept for 30 days, especially Arka Samrat from breaker to the complete softening, whereas the Arka Rakshak can be kept for nearly 18 to 20 days, having a very good shelf life and also transportability. Then our next idea was whether our hybrid really do in the farmers field. Yes, we did field performance for Arka Rakshak, which is in a oblong background. In fact, one of the farmers in Karnataka in the 2012, he could harvest around 19 kg average per plant. Means we have touched around 190 tons per hectare under open conditions using the precision farming techniques given by our agronomist Dr. M. Prabhakar and Dr. Hebbar, and probably is one of the highest yield recorded under Indian scenario under open field conditions. Then when we tested, in fact, it has been tested from 2012 during summer rainy season for all the 3 years, and on average it has given around 132 tons per hectare. And when we see the investment the farmers have earned, normally they plant it during July to December where they get the more price. They have earned about 15 lakhs net profit per hectare, almost about 6 lakhs per acre. In case of US dollars, it comes around 10,000 US dollars. For every dollar invest, you get about $6 to $7, almost 6:1 benefit cost ratio. Probably one of the highest yielders. These are some of the pictures where we have organized field days. This is one of the farmer, Mr. Chandrappa. Then recently, one of the farmers grew it on a large scale, about 5 acres, 25,000 plants. In fact, based on the fruit quality attributes, the tomatoes were exported to distant markets like Calcutta. From there, it went to Dhaka. It could, withstand the shelf life on road for about 4 to 5 days. He reported there was not even a single fruit which was crushed, in which was transported by trucks. And very recently, on 16th of this month, the plot of Mr. Chandrappa was visited by Honorable DG and also DDG. It was well appreciated that the farmer gave an input, feedback. This is one of the best hybrids he has seen and has been continuously growing for the 5th consecutive year. And a lot of publications, even it was given in the press and also TV. Then our intention was to, as Dr. Kallu suggested, the maintenance breeding was very important. Since we have lack of students who can give us actual the whiteface screening, we have adopted this marker assisted breeding using TY2 marker. You can see our parental lines have been maintained in a purity has been maintained as far as the TY2 is concerned, and this how you screen our parental lines. Then what we observed is in some of the areas our hybrids do show susceptibility to leaf curl virus. So then we started using the pyramided lines from AVRDC. New hybrids have been developed which have been pyramided with TY1, TY2 and TY3. They are in the pipeline, and we have also started incorporating TY3 into our female lines of Varka, Rakshak and Samrat, so that the level of resistance can be improved. That work is in progress. Then incidentally, we also identified LA1777 as also resistance to early blight. This we have artificially screened. Then we have made interspecific hybridation, and recently we have developed 3 advanced breeding lines using LA1777 in PKM background and also in Arka Vikas background. And one of the line, that's 5-3-7-3-2, this has it's a OP variety with a triple resistance to TLCV background early blight. This is in pipeline with excellent fruit quality attributes. These are the 3 lines we have advanced which are in pipeline. One is in PKM background, one is in Arka Vikas background, one is for a processing type. It's not only the varieties, we have even developed hybrids in a PKM background and Arka Vikas background, very high yield potential and also with excellent fruit quality attributes. Then again our focus is on to separate TY2 and TY3 from LA1777 as a source, and we want to see what is the reaction of our advanced breeding lines which has been derived from LA1777 individually and also in combination with TY2, TY3. That work is in progress. We are in BC1 F4 populations. This is all over. Then we are just thinking of what are the challenges ahead in of tomato breeding. Though I say our hybrid is resistant to all the 3 diseases, in some of the plots of farmers where the bacterial inoculum is more, we did observe about 10 to 15% of bacterial wilt susceptibility. We would like to enhance the level of resistance to bacterial wilt. Very recently, Dr. Krishna Reddy agrees with me, Crini virus has become very serious in most of the commercial plots in the country, especially in Karnataka, that we have to look for resistance to Crini virus. It's becoming very serious. Then other one is the GBNME. In fact, we have screened the earlier, this reported source of resistance to GBNME like Pearl Harbor, Redanos, Tempranos, Manzana and Stevens. They're all susceptible to the local isolate. 2 accessions of Perionum are being tested in hotspots of the country. The work has to be intensified. Other important disease is light blight, and these are the challenges ahead with plant breeders. And I profusely thank for giving this opportunity.